around to the different stores and buys stuff that's in clearance.
Excellent. Okay,
Right, so
yeah.
they'll go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, and find their clearance stuff, and then box that stuff up and send it to Amazon. So now it's at the Amazon warehouse, and he puts it online for the suggested retail.
And he has a little Amazon. Well, hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
How the heck are you doing today?
I've been doing good. So I see that you survived the Python adventure.
You know, I did. Got back. Have a lot of bites from all kinds of crazy creatures that were down there in the Amazon basin, but the python never got us.
Now, that's good to hear.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, welcome to the Steve and Steve Show. If this is the first time you're finding us or discovering us, thank you for pushing play and watching us. If you're returning and you're a loyal fan, thank you again. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We're working on building that subscriber base. So do us a favor and share. Hit that share button also so that others can find us and discover us, because we think we're a bunch of hilarious guys.
And remember, we're raw, okay?
That's
The
right.
Steve and Steve show is raw, so they ought to like that. Raw shows are good.
That's right.
Good.
And so the idea is that Steve and I are having coffee table type topics.
Sometimes beer, sometimes martinis.
Right. But the idea is that we have several deep topics, and we like to share those ideas and concepts, and hopefully that the audience like you are out there listening can pick up on ideas or grab a golden nugget from us.
Get the nugget.
So just sharing some wisdom that we've picked up over the years and trying to better everybody's lives as we do it.
Absolutely, and today we're going to talk about nuggets of gold or other things, multiple streams of income. However, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the multiple streams of income, I prepared a coffee for Mr. Walsh here, specifically for him. A nice, delicious, black, very dark black coffee. Well, we'll see. You see
Like
if you
a
like
fork
it.
and knife type?
I don't know. We're going to see what you think.
It's not bad.
Oh, it's not even strong. Okay.
It's strong, but it's not as thick as I've had
In the past?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, anyway, multiple streams of income. Steve, why would somebody want multiple streams of income?
Yeah, so multiple streams of income. So that's a good question, the why. And we always like to start with why. So if you think about, most people and most of us will trade our hours for dollars, right? So we work 40 hours in a week, and we either get a paycheck or someone pays us an hourly wage, right?
Or 80 hours a week.
Right. So that would be one stream of income, and for most of us, it's our main stream of income or our only stream of income. And especially this year in 2020, we had the Black Swan event with the COVID-19 virus that, you know, I don't know if it ever reached 40 million, but at least 35 million in the United States went to unemployment. And so if your mainstream or your only stream of income is eliminated,
What do you do?
then what do you do? The other, so that's one piece. But what if you're doing something that requires you to do physical activity with your income?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe
Yeah.
you're a roofer or lay concrete, or you work in a warehouse.
Landscaping.
Yeah. So that's your trade, and you get in a car accident, and now you're not able to perform those duties, right? So it makes it tough for an employer to pay you if you can't do your job,
Great. Okay.
right? So that'd be kind of the why. And so multiple streams, if you think about, lanes, and you only have one, and that one gets eliminated, financially that could be devastating.
So you mean like a lanes on a highway, for example?
Yeah, that would be a good way to look
Okay.
at it. So if you have lanes and you got 7 of those lanes, and one is your main income, and you got 6 other ones, and they don't have to be big, right? They could be just a few dollars, but you could be learning and working those to build up so that if something happens to your main stream, you've got the other ones to support.
Right, right.
And sometimes a lot of people they build the other streams where they're potentially either equivalent or bigger than their day type job, right? They're one that takes the majority of their time.
Right.
So if that one it does get impacted, it's really not that big of a financial impact for them.
Okay, so great. So we've got the why. Look, if you rely, it's kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket. And especially if you're putting it into something like a 40, 60, 80 hour a week
Yeah.
job, then something, God forbid, happens and you lose that. And those eggs are done, and now what? You're into a thing. So putting together multiple streams of income is going to kind of hedge against some catastrophic event, some black swan event, whether
Right.
it's personal or something you have zero control over like we have right now. Hedge against that and actually get you potentially through that. And with the goal of really creating enough of those streams of income that they become a passive, at best, a passive kind of income
Yeah.
that's going whether you're sleeping,
Well, you
whether
could-
you're working, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, there's a variety of.
Yeah, so let's
different ones.
talk
So
about
let's-
what these are.
So the one that you trade your hours for, right? That would
That's
be
your job, that
That's
J-O-B.
very active, right? You have to be active to do that one. You could actually have your main job and then do some moonlighting, have a secondary job, right?
But in both cases, you are working for
You are working,
money.
but it's active,
Right.
right? The beauty of having something else is that you're already in motion with it, right? So if you have going back to kind of a little why, if you have one that gets eliminated, your main one gets eliminated, you're already in motion. Or if the other one gets eliminated, now you've got to figure out what you're going to do and
Right.
get ramped up.
You're behind the eight ball.
Right.
Right?
Right. So having at least two is better than just having one, and certainly having one is better than none.
Right, right.
But then you can get into some of the passive stuff, right? So in passive means that you're taking your money and putting it away into an investment, and those investments start to kick off an income, right?
All
So
right.
that could be in a stream of income.
Okay, so let's stop for a second though. We're going to number these, right? We got the one, which is the job. We've already said that one.
Yep.
Let's do a number two. You've mentioned investments. Now, I've done a lot of that with the book that I did. But within investments, specifically, let's say working in the stock market or let's just stay with the stock market. You could create enough of a portfolio in the
Right.
stock market that over time, if it's diversified enough, could potentially create a kind of income.
Right.
Maybe
Well,
not today.
Well, if you build one, there's some stocks out there that pay dividends on a quarterly.
Absolutely.
Right? So if your portfolio builds big enough, those dividends could be a good source of income. And
Right.
there's little old ladies out there, right, with huge portfolios. And
Right.
that's how they live, is they live off those dividend checks. So it's
Well-
their main and probably only, and maybe they get Social Security, but most likely that's where but that takes a long time to build something unless you get an inheritance or
Sure.
something.
So I've got
But before you go on that, but the part that I was making was that it's passive. They don't have to really do anything today to get that income other than just sit there and wait for the check to come.
right. Okay. So I was going to give you an example of I have a few people that are doing the property trading strategy and they've got full-time jobs.
Right.
And so they've actually researched at night certain stocks that they want. And then in the morning right when the market opens, they'll go in and put in their orders, buy that thing, and they'll immediately put in what's called a limit order that then executes at a certain price where it's a gain, and they'll keep part of that stock in their portfolio. And then they keep gaining those. My son Daniel, for example, started doing this, and he's got a full-time job, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
He started doing this approximately 3 months ago. He has 17 what we call real properties or stocks that have all of his investment out and it's just profit. So think about those things 10 years from now.
Right.
And let's say one of those 17 stocks, I don't know, turns into some pharmaceutical that finds the cure for cancer.
Right.
Is that going to be passive income for him?
Could be.
Absolutely, right.
Well, it could be. It
Or
could
it could be
be.
a lump sum.
Maybe it's an existing large cap company that comes in and buys that one, right?
Absolutely.
That's already kicking
Yeah.
up dividends. So it could be sooner than later.
Or it could be dividends created, exactly.
Right. So that's definitely an area where they're passive. The other one is on real estate.
Perfect. Give me some example of the real estate.
So there's several, right? You can buy into a real estate syndication, where it's a group of people that come together and they go out and buy large multifamily units, right? So if you're the guy putting the deal together, that's active. But if you're one of the investors, you're kind of the silent investor, then that's passive.
Right.
So every quarter they kick off a dividend check or a distribution check.
And how much time does something like that take?
Just hours before you invest, because you want to make sure you're going into something that makes sense.
Right.
Right. But once the money's there, you made the commitment. Maybe 10 hours a year when you get your checks, you reevaluate the reports, you jump on some conference calls. So
Great.
there's not really a whole lot of activity there.
So you could certainly do that while you've got your main job.
Right. The other one you could do
Yep.
is you could actually own a single family home as a rental, right? Or there's people out there that buy a duplex. They live in one and
Think about that one right there. Okay, people, you have to live in a house. You're either going to rent or you're going to buy. But what if you did, instead of going out and buying that one house, what if you buy a duplex and maybe it's not going to be the exact dream home that you have, but you buy the whole duplex and you rent out one of the other ones.
Right. So you still have the income stream coming in, right? So
that's a great idea, folks.
Either the rental or the income. Now, if you're going to manage the rental yourself, it kind of leans towards an active
some more work,
investment, right?
Some more work,
but maybe not a full-time job, but maybe some headache weekends where you have to go and fix something or clean something. But if you hire a property manager as part of your portfolio to do that, then you're just working with the property manager. You're managing them versus managing the property.
And you cut down the amount of time. And typically that's what, like 10% or so that you pay, 10% of the rent that you pay the property manager. Right. So, you do the math on it, but it might very well be worth it to pay 10% of an $1,800, rent to be able to free up that time and the headaches potentially on it.
What other ones?
Okay, so we've got 3 right now. We've got the job, we've got investments in stocks and bonds, and we've got real estate. What if you started a small company?
Yeah.
Like a sole proprietorship kind of company. What if it's a company like, a lot of these folks are out here now doing things with selling online, gathering products and selling those online.
So I'll give you a story on this.
Excellent.
So I have a friend, what he does is he goes around to the different stores and buys stuff that's in clearance.
Excellent. Okay.
Right. So they'll go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, and find their clearance stuff, and then box that stuff up and send it to Amazon. So now it's at the Amazon warehouse, and he puts it online for the suggested retail.
And he has a little Amazon store, right? Which Amazon's got all of the everything set up for you.
Right.
The other thing, just work at night. You do a few things at night.
Yeah. The other thing he does is he goes.
But let me back up for a second. One of the things I think they need to catch, and probably a lot of you already know this, but Amazon's going to take care of all the shipping. They're going to take care of everything. You basically do the marketing on this. Get the stuff, put it into the warehouse.
He has to buy it. Now he's buying it at a discount because it's on clearance.
Right.
Right. And then he sells it at retail. Right. So he's making a margin there. I don't know what he's got to judge what he can make and what it's going to be, but
what the market will bear.
Yep. The other thing he does is he goes. We're part of. We're northern part, but of the Denver metro area. Right. So we have a lot of things here that we can get to, right? We drive down to Denver, it takes us about 45 minutes, and we can be in a store, right? A specialty store. But there's a lot of people in the country that can't do that. It takes them several hours, right? So one of the things he does is he goes to these specialty markets, like an Asian market, and finds some common stuff at the Asian market. And puts that on, you know, buys it there, puts it on Amazon and advertise it, right? And so these folks that migrated from different countries that live
not in
rural areas, not in the city types, right? Now they can get access to it because
Amazon will go there. Amazon
well, and it's in the United States already, right? So they don't have to wait 3 or 6 months to get the product, right? So he marks it up just a little bit more than suggested retail because it's a specialty.
Sure.
So it's purely a volume.
So use your imagination on something like that, right?
Right.
I mean, you figure out what different people are, the different people that are here that might want some of these specialty kind of things. You can go and get them.
And you can get stuff like that at auctions, right?
Yeah.
You buy in bulk and make, as long as it's packaged for retail, you know, you're not breaking any laws, you can redo this stuff.
Excellent. How about if you have a skill that's really unique that you might be able to coach people on, or that you might be able to do some sort of an online, similar to what we're doing here with our videos, but you have something that people could subscribe to.
Well, so speaking of that, there's different sites like Odesk and Freelance, right? And so people, Fiverr is another one, right? Yep. Where they can you can start a service type business online, and people find you and you tell them, you know, you're basically advertising what you can do, and so you might be able to pick up some projects, right? So if you're a programmer, developer type person, you might be able to pick up a small project and work on that in the evenings, on the weekends.
And what if you're special? It really is some kind of a specialty. My son-in-law, for example, is very skilled in film and editing of video and photography and those. And he actually is using Fiverr, and he goes out and he gets these jobs on Fiverr, and they're little consulting jobs that take him a couple hours after work, 3 or 4 hours, and he gets paid a nice extra income. Yeah. So it's another lane of income.
Right. All right. So here's another one for you. And you, I know you have some experience around this. What about the different direct sales or
absolutely
network marketing? Right. Mary Kay is probably one of the biggest and most successful ones I can think of right now.
Amway's been around forever.
Yep.
And they've really changed, by the way. They're a lot more technology based than they used to be. With Amway, you used to have a load of stuff in your garage, and now you don't have anything. The store is all online. You just talk to people about it. They go to your store, buy it, and you get the margin.
Oh, interesting. And another one that my grandmother did was Avon.
Okay.
Right. So
we're dating ourselves here.
Yeah, but she would come and, you know, for our Christmas gifts and stuff, we'd get the either the hair gel, the soaps, or some cologne, and it would be in some shape of a train or a car.
Yeah.
So
well, now you've got travel, you've got, you know, different essence oils, you've got
and that's
vitamin drinks, and
those people have to work, right? It's not an easy gig.
Right.
They have to work at it, but it's set up so that it can be a part-time thing, and if things go well for them, they can actually position themselves to actually replace their mainstream income. Right. So.
And but it still becomes another lane. Even when you replace something like that, right? You want to have those 5 or 6 lanes of income as much as you can create. Again, to hedge against those things.
One thing that a lot of people do with the network marketing companies or the side incomes is it pays for either their vacation, or maybe they wanted an upgrade in their car, so it pays a bill. Right. Or maybe it pays extra on their house, right? So they can pay off their debts quicker.
I mean, so really the idea is you got kind of two things going here. You can go and work and trade all of your time for the money that you get. You only have a certain amount of time. And if you do that, you've got, how many hours in the day before you lose your mind, and
Yep.
so you've got that certain amount. Or on the other side, you can go out and do things that are more on the passive side of income, where you're actually taking the time and leveraging it into money and making the money in that way work for you, as
Right.
opposed to only working for the
Right.
money. And frankly, in our minds, I know I'm not going to speak for you, I will. We both want to get it to the point where everything we're doing is that money is working for us. We're not
Right.
working for that money.
Yeah. No, we want multiple streams,
Multiple streams.
right? So that if one is,
And we do have some now.
Yeah, if one part of the economy is struggling and that stream is struggling, you've got other ones that are cranking away.
So
right?
I guess.
So I wanted to add one more before
Okay.
we call it.
Yep.
And that is become someone who writes a book and publishes it,
Wow, there's a concept.
right? So it could be like, you have your book and you sell the book. So you created something and you're selling that item.
Right.
So you wrote your book, which is Trading on the House.
Trading on the House,
And they can check it out
tradingonthehouse.com,
at tradingonthehouse.com.
or Amazon.
So you have your book, and so that's something that you can sell. And it has concepts and value in there, but the actual book, what you did was you wrote a book, you created something, and now you're selling it multiple times. And people can do that on all types of
Absolutely.
stuff. So, and if it's something that takes off in a viral type way, you could have like a royalty type situation,
Right.
If you create a screenplay and one
Yep.
of the big Hollywood movie makers comes and picks it up.
Which is going to happen, by the way. No, but I mean, and along that same line is, I know some people that do music that absolutely love music. And now with all the things like Spotify and the various online, what they call indie production, for both film and music, and indie is independent, not going to one of the large groups. You can actually create your own music, your own videos, your own film, kind of like what we're doing here, and those can be put out there as
Yeah.
well and potentially turn into some sort of a
Yeah.
revenue stream. Well, I think we beat this one.
Yep,
To,
we did.
good.
We did. We hope you at
Get
least got, we inspired some insight for you to think about
Write it
how you can, get a second source or a third source or many sources. Use your creativity.
That's it right there. Use your creativity.
Yeah.
Get your creative juices going tonight. How about you go and just write a list of things that you're really good at, or that you think, wow, I could maybe do something like this. Just throw them down.
What I'd like, if you were inspired by today and you had a creative thought,
Comment.
put a comment in there. Tell us what that thought was, or that
Yeah.
you were inspired, that you enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling really good about how the topic went on
I
this
agree.
one too.
I
So
agree.
Again,
It might be the coffee. That's
could
some
be the
pretty
coffee.
rocket fuel.
That might be. So, do us a favor though, hit the like button and make sure you do subscribe. All the subscribers as soon as we hit the certain milestone subscribers, we'll be able to get a URL, and that's what we're shooting for right now. And that'll help us spread the word and spread the joy and the knowledge and wisdom that we have.
Yeah, we really hope you guys are doing, have a fantastic week. We'll see you on the next Steve and Steve show, and thank you for taking the time. Cheers.
Cheers. Enjoy.